Did you know that 99% of the living space on planet Earth is in the oceans? That's a lot of space, and according to experts, only 10% of it has ever been explored by humans. It turns out there's a pretty good reason for this. Ignorance is bliss, as they say, and judging by some of the things deep-sea fishermen have pulled up from the depths, you'd sleep a lot better if you didn't know what was out there, lurking beneath the waves. We all enjoy horror movies though, and I promise you the creatures in Alien have nothing on some of the top 10 discoveries of unwitting fishermen.
Amazing!
Number 10. New meaning to the term fishwife. Eric Bardos, deep-sea fishing off the Florida coast with a couple of friends, couldn't believe it when he caught a huge sailfish, not least because it had a wedding ring around its elongated bill. Understandable, you might think. You don't expect fish to attend a formal marriage ceremony, but this was Bardos' own wedding ring, 3 years before Bardos was on the verge of divorce, and, for reasons known only to himself, but no doubt linked to severe emotional trauma, decided to slip his wedding ring onto a sailfish before he returned it to the sea. What are the odds of him catching the same fish again 3 years later? Or did fate intervene and decide that Bardos and the sailfish truly were made for each other? It would certainly give new meaning to the term fishwife. Number 9. A two-headed sea monster. Sort of. This really is the stuff of nightmares. A slimy two-headed sea monster. The beast was discovered just last month in the chilly North Sea coastal waters of Holland. A photo of the animal, taken by the crew of the fishing trawler who discovered it in their nets, duly went viral and came to the attention of Erwin Compange, curator of mammals at the Natural History Museum in Rotterdam. An expert in his field, Compange realized that this wasn't a new type of animal, but an exceptionally rare case of conjoined porpoises, two brothers joined together. It is only the 10th known case of conjoined twins among ocean mammals, a scientific goldmine. The fishing crew chucked the porpoises straight back into the sea after photographing them. It's illegal under EU law to catch them. Number 8. A shark bearing the answer to a murder mystery. A 14-foot-long tiger shark is right up there with the things fishermen don't want to discover in their nets. But in 1935, Australian fishermen Albert and Charles Hobson found such a beast still alive and entangled in their net one memorable Sydney morning. The Hobsons hauled the shark ashore and arranged for it to be kept in the nearby aquarium, and must have enjoyed a refreshing Aussie beer that night, relishing retellings of their story. However, this turned out to be only the beginning of the tale. A week later, the shark regurgitated a human arm in the aquarium. Quite a treat for visitors. To add further intrigue, the arm had a rope tied to it and bore a distinctive tattoo. The police were informed and recognized the tattoo. It belonged to one of their informants, a petty criminal called Jim Smith, who'd been missing for a while. With evidence of foul play, a murder investigation was opened. It's unclear whether the shark was ever required to testify in court. Number 7. A fish from the era of the dinosaurs. Recent research has shed new light on the sudden demise of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago. An asteroid 9 miles wide hit the seabed off the coast of Mexico at 40,000 miles per hour, triggering a blast wave a billion times as powerful as the Hiroshima atom bomb, setting the sky ablaze around the globe and blocking out the sun until temperatures plumbed toward freezing. Good luck surviving that. The coelacanth, a primitive prehistoric fish, was believed to have died out with the dinosaurs, but 65 million years after disappearing from the record, it suddenly reappeared in, of all places, an African fisherman's net. That's quite a comeback and exciting news for marine biologists. Not such good news for the fishermen though. Coelacanths are inedible. Number 6. A kilo of cocaine in the Florida Keys. Cynics among you might not count this as an unusual discovery. Drug smuggling is a well-known problem, but you'd still be curious if you discovered a kilo of wrapped white powder bobbing in your fishing net. 50-something brothers Kenneth and Thomas Swindle encountered such a floating conundrum in 2011 and employed contrasting approaches. Kenneth calmly set aside the presumed drugs and continued fishing. Thomas, behind his back, indulged his curiosity a little too much actually. When Kenneth looked around and saw Thomas literally eating the white powder, he knew something was amiss. And when his brother started throwing things like the ship radio overboard and attacking the engine with a gaffing hook, it only went from bad to worse. Stranded with a raving madman on a ship, with no power and no comms, Kenneth had to holler at nearby boats for assistance. Unfortunately, help came too late to save Thomas, who died of an overdose. Don't do drugs, kids. Number 5. A 15-foot shark. Commercial deep-sea fishing is big business, and needless to say, the bigger your net, the bigger your catch. It brings to mind the saying, "Be careful what you wish for." A version of this phrase, perhaps interspersed with words it's best not to repeat, was surely on the lips of the fishermen who set about emptying a giant net on their trawler and discovered this enormous, eerily pink shark in the middle of it. The shark, 15 feet long and bulky in the way only apex predators are, wouldn't have been out of place in a Jaws remake, and it's tempting to speculate that its mouth has been dyed pink by the blood of its countless victims. No human limbs were ever recovered from this shark that we know of. Number 4. Prehistoric fish with glowing eyes and wings. If you think about it, evolution is a little bit like fashion. Old photos and films make the 1980s and 90s look like a time of mass delusion. Who thought that hairstyle was a good look? Seriously, shell suits? Shorts that short? The theory of evolution may jar with the notion of a god, but it's tempting to imagine an all-seeing, all-knowing creator looking back at his early animal designs and feeling the same kind of embarrassment, thinking, geez, I got that wrong. Take the prehistoric long-nosed chimera, or ghost shark as it's often known, a fish with wings and eyes that grow bright green. What hallucinogens was God taking in the age of the dinosaurs? Ghost shark discoveries are extremely rare, but Canadian fisherman Scott Tanner snapped a shot of one of his trawler dredged up from the deep in their net. All the production stopped, and everything so everybody could check it out. Tanner said of the discovery, "No wonder, those eyes look like they could shoot death rays." The ghost shark could win a staring contest with Hannibal Lecter. Number 3. The most chilled out sea lion ever. Male sea lions can grow to lengths of 3 meters and weigh up to 1,000 kilograms. No wonder the crew of a Russian trawler had a collective panic attack when a living sea lion slipped out of their net and stared at them with unnerving calm, just sitting there as the net is removed like a giant sleeping bag. Most seafaring animals thrash and struggle when caught up in nets. Many die of shock, but this sea lion, captured on video, appeared totally unperturbed. The fact that he was lying on a mountain of dead fish is one possible explanation. Sea lions can eat up to 8% of their body weight in a single sitting, and the trawler's net had delivered weeks worth of food to the sea lion, like a supermarket delivery van. Too bad the panicking fisherman hosed the sea lion until he slipped overboard. He looked quite at home. You can't beat a free meal. Number 2. Roman's Empire. Russian fisherman Roman Fedorsov became an overnight sensation when he decided to begin posting pictures of the most bizarre creatures he'd hauled up from the deep on his Twitter feed. It's an interesting fact that in many ways, we know more about what's on the surface of the moon than what lurks deep within our oceans, and Roman's Twitter is proof that we needn't launch spacecrafts to discover aliens. Take the spotlight loosejaw, a deep sea dragonfish, last seen staring in a Ridley Scott movie. How sharp are those teeth? How dark and slimy and dead-eyed can fish be? That's presuming it is a stoplight loosejaw. Like most things on Twitter, Roman's pictures spark endless debate and the lack of conclusive names for many of his finds, not to mention their terrifying weirdness, only emphasizes how little we know about what lurks in the deepest, darkest depths. Take some time to look through Roman's discoveries, particularly if you plan on penning a horror screenplay anytime soon. Imagine coming face to face with a grenadier in the water. Just look at those eyes. Number 1. Species unknown. Many people fear the unknown. Others are terrified of it. No wonder, when the unknown looks like a see-through fish with spiky teeth that look like they'd happily take your hand off, I defend my right to be afraid. Fedorsov simply posted "Who are you?" next to an image of the clear fish on Twitter, and it's far from the only deep-sea discovery that hasn't been identified. Check out this bizarre croco dolphin, spotted in China recently for another startling example of the unfamiliar creatures out there. Okay, a scientist may have tentatively labeled the croco dolphin a male-beaked whale, but the sense of doubt over an animal of of that size puts the creepers on me. It makes you wonder what else might be down there, lying in wait next time you decide to cool off on holiday. If this list has proved anything, it's that anything is possible in the ocean, and that sometimes it's better for the unknown to stay unknown. So there you have it. Are there any crazy things you've missed from the video? If so, tell me about them in the comments section. And if you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new ones we have coming up. Feel free to share the video with your friends too. Let them know what lurks down there in the unexplored depths of the ocean. Thanks for watching.